All right, everybody, welcome to the Point Five show of the Pennymon Doctrine Podcast. The Point Five show is the bonus show / overflow show of the Pennymon Doctrine Podcast. I said that twice. How's everybody doing today? How are you doing today, Molly?
Yeah, you ask a question and don't want a response. I'm fine.
That's good. We're a little slap happy right now because
we didn't get much sleep.
We did sleep a lot.
You slept a lot
until 5 almost.
Yeah,
like 4:45. I was up till like 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
But we get this way when we have our guest on that we're gonna have. It's the man, the myth, the legend, the guy that we always talk about in the beginning of the show with the Nerdy Bird GFX and nerdybirdgraphics.com and all that kind of stuff like that. Dan Richardson is here, everyone. I don't have sound today, but if I did, it would be an applause that'd be so loud that it'd be peaking the sound, and you would blow your eardrums out. But we won't do that to you today. We'll just have a wonderful, awesome conversation with the legend that is Dan Richardson. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm pretty good. Actually, I should just keep it short. Bien. Is that good? All right.
now you can see why we enjoy Dan's company.
Make this short at the end.
Because dude is fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
So we got Dan Richardson here, who is the founder and owner of
the graphic designer.
And a graphic designer, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this any justice. Dan, tell everyone what it is that you do, what you're known for. You know, you plug this. I'm doing a horrible job.
By my stripper name, you know, I'm Juicy Glitter. We don't talk about it too much, but I won't tell you how I got the name. It's a long. No.
Well, this is the bonus show, so if you want to tell people how you got the name Juicy Glitter, wow.
Well,
Juicy Glitter, huh?
Well, you know, it's kind of, you know, like the whole Starburst thing, you know, hard on the outside, juicy in the middle, if you know what I mean. Okay.
That's what she said. That's exactly what she said. That is the ultimate. That's what she said. But what's going on with Nerdy Bird, man? What's going on with that stuff? How you doing on the business end?
Nerdy Bird Graphics. We do graphic design. We specialize in logo design specifically. You'll have a lot of different graphic designers that will do a wide range of different things, but what we are mainly focused on is your image, because when you are going into a place, the first thing that you see is a logo. So, you know,
this is the logo that you see.
Absolutely.
I just turned the camera off. This right here is Dan's work.
I have time to pick my nose now.
And it is fucking amazing. I remember the first time he was showing me mocks or whatever, and I saw this one, I was like,
no, we were going back, and there was another one you liked too. This was my pick.
Yeah. But that's the work that he does. And it's amazing. And even though we don't do what's that?
You can find me at, nerdybirdgraphics.com. And I'll have all of my work on there. I've got John's work up there. I've got several things that I've done for John up there. So, and many other people. I like to say many.
That's what's up.
But it's a handful.
But you know what? It is many. If it's more than one, it's many. In my book.
Oh my gosh! Listen to you. You're being prophetic. Right?
No. Profound.
Prophetic.
Prophetic.
I think I made that up.
What is that?
It's what you are doing.
Prophetic?
Yeah, right
so
now.
So I'm a made-up word.
Yeah.
Pathetic and, yeah.
Pathetic and
pathetic?
And pretty at the same time.
That's not a word, though, really, huh?
Prophetic? No.
Okay.
No. Not at all.
Whoops.
Dan also has done, because we've been talking about, or I really don't know how to market this as much, but Molly and I do streaming Fridays where we play the game Rocket League, which is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And we stream it, and we drink, and we talk shit, and we play Rocket League. And the profile page that I have on Twitch.tv was also done by Dan. And I think it's awesome. Now, when I'm able to move over to a better streaming setup, there is something that's called an overlay that you see on the screen, and it obviously is going to tell you who I am. Show some other things like I'm going to have a music player, so you can be able to see what song is playing and how many people subscribe for the day or whatever. And it looks pretty cool. It's really great, and that was made by Dan too. So, I mean, as far as like the graphic design type stuff, to be honest with you, and I'm not saying it because, I've known you since high school, and you had one of my favorite podcasts that I've ever done on the two of my favorite podcasts I've ever done that we've ever done in like almost 200 and something podcasts. But I think that Dan probably hands down has one of the best graphic design companies out, and that's no bullshit.
Thank you very much. And I'd also like to point out that the logo design part of what I do of the graphic design is not just to lettering, typography. It is also, I'm an illustrator. I've illustrated children's books. I've illustrated for different companies, and so I am, I guess, apt to do illustrations as well. So, and you'll see that on John's Twitch. I made him Iron Man.
You did. I am really the Black Tony Stark now, and still to this day, people go, well, "Does that mean you're War Machine?" No, bitch. Those are two completely different fucking people.
Yes.
Sorry, I get offended when
now that in the original comic book where what was his name or whatever,
Rhodey,
he was originally white.
So,
yeah, he was originally white.
Was he?
First one. Hey, I am called Nerdy Bird Graphics for a reason because I'm a freaking nerd.
I know, but I've read the first, I want to say almost decade of Iron Man comics.
Well, you must have missed that then, huh?
Starting from the Tales of Suspense series.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think.
You've gone far back then.
I'm trying to think. Maybe the first time they ever showed him. But I remember the first time they showed him is when he he was in Vietnam, and the Mandarin was there. Or was that maybe the second time technically?
No, that was. Oh my gosh! And I'm going to say something, and then I might get people to like say no, but I believe that one was either the second or third edition. But I know that before he really became a pinnacle character within Marvel itself, he was white, and he only made a very small appearance as well, and he wasn't even in like the suit or anything else yet. So
right, no. I mean, they with the Black Rhodey, they didn't really do that until I want to say like the early to mid 70s.
Yeah,
I didn't get that far because I downloaded the every Iron Man comic from 1960, I want to say 63 or 4 to 2005. And I think I'm in like the mid 70s. I've read so far.
You can read.
Well, it helps because it has pictures.
Yeah, right.
Oh, right. It is a picture book, isn't it?
So when I can't read the words, I say, you are going. I'ma just look at the picture and he whooped his ass.
He just looks at like the action little bubbles and go boom, pow.
Right. I know exactly what's going on.
And then he goes to his middle school dance and practices them as dance.
Oh my God, this is.
I'm sorry.
Hit it, girl.
Like this. Every time we talk to Dan, we gotta always bring up how I did the little kung fu fighting dance moves.
We talked about that to him last year? Or did he bring that up?
I brought it up.
Yeah. And then you brought it up, and then like maybe 3-4 months after that, Susie Matanovic tagged me
oh my God,
in the picture
yeah.
from the dance.
Oh my God.
I love it.
But I wasn't doing the kung fu thing though.
He was just looking cool.
Yeah, I was just.
He was
looking.
like, "Hey, all the ladies."
I was
love
like,
me. Wow, that's exactly how I want to get the picture and do
I know.
side by side.
I think that's what I was doing.
Screenshot.
You know, I thought I was the man. And you know what? No, I take that back. And again, you know, this is kind of like talking about this again, but for people who haven't heard the original Dan conversation,
which we lost because John poured wine on the computer.
Yeah, and also on Podomatic and Stitcher and all that, you can't go back.
I have to get rid of files after a while because I only have 2 gigabytes of storage.
Well, you should have saved that.
We did for the longest time.
Well,
and
we still might have it.
Yeah,
we haven't tried to restore the hard drive.
I think we could be okay with.
Dumb poured wine on.
Oh my God.
I remember that day. I remember that day.
Oh yeah, because I hit you up and I was like.
Yeah, I work for you.
I seriously walked to the store and I got a whole big ass bag of rice.
He did everything he could. He was like, Molly, I didn't talk to you for like 3 days.
Yeah, you didn't talk to me for like 3 days.
And it killed him.
Yeah, I felt so bad. But
oh man.
Now I forgot where I was going with this for. Oh, that I was the man in middle school. That's why I could get away with doing what I did at the 8th grade farewell dance, because I was John Pennymon, right? Then my black ass goes to fucking high school, and they're like, "You're just a black guy. What's your name again?" What do you mean, what's my name? Like, y'all was licking my ball sack like 3 months ago. What happened?
Oh my God.
Like, I could have gone to the black school if I known this shit was gonna happen.
I remember in high school they used to call you 1 cent.
Yeah.
I call him that once in a while. He doesn't like
it. Johnny 1 cent.
Yep, Johnny 1 cent.
Oh man. So
because you were a token black guy. We didn't know anybody else.
That is true. I literally was one of 2 in my graduating class.
Others too?
There was another girl that came in like in January.
Did she like stay in the? I didn't see her.
I didn't see her.
Nah, she was one of those. She was one of those ratchet kind of, you know. I'm at a white school, so let me make an ass of myself kind of black chicks, and so she was always in trouble and running around acting a fool. Yeah, it was a little embarrassing. Huh?
Living the thug life in Brook Park.
Right, exactly. There was another dude a couple grades under us that ended up transferring to Berea, but he was one of those too. Man, I'm from Cleveland. I'm like, okay, doesn't mean you got to be a dick. Like, what does being from Cleveland mean?
Apparently it does mean you have to be a dick because you have to protect yourself or else you might be killed. I
mean, that's just nowadays.
I don't mean to get off subject here. I do not mean to get off subject. But I can't remember which podcast it was now, but you guys were talking about the story of when, you know, you heard all that noise and whatnot and, you know, screaming and yelling and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Is everything okay?
Yeah, the weekend after that was the weekend of the blood moon.
Okay.
So I went outside with my telescope, and I'm standing on the street corner, and I'm thinking to myself, man, I kind of look like I've got like this rocket launcher. I hope like no one pulls up and shoots me.
It's just a telescope.
Right, but we're in Cleveland, and shit's fucked up. So anyway, next thing I know, they're coming out of that house. So it was I don't know if the guy running around was there, if the perpetrator.
Oh, the dude that was whooping up on the chicks?
Yeah, but she was there.
Which one?
The one that talked like this. The one that was in the car.
The girlfriend?
The girlfriend.
Oh. What
She
about
was
the
there.
skinny?
No, she wasn't there.
The skinny needed a
It was-
sandwich chick.
It was, yeah, she did, but some people have a hard time gaining weight. But anyway, it's neither here nor there. But so it was that girl, not the sandwich girl, the one that ate sandwiches. She was there. And then there's a guy that I had never seen before, and he's the one that kept coming out and talking to me. And then there was another, so like everything was fine. I didn't notice any ankle bracelets. So these might have been like the ones
Like a
that
different
aren't
group.
on house arrest. Yeah, like I think there's a lot of different people that come through that house. I have no idea who actually lives
Yeah,
there.
I don't either.
But it's
no
just like
idea.
a bunch of white boys and random white girls that either eat or do not eat sandwiches.
I was wondering where you were going with that. Because I was about to be like, that's what she said.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so everything's good to go now. But I don't know if you've heard, Dan, but there has been near us, Cleveland. I mean, like East Cleveland, like East Cleveland, stuff like that. Like shit's been going a long time, but as close as what East 100 and where's those one murders at? On MLK? Or not MLK? Yeah, MLK Drive.
Yeah, the road I take to work going by like the VA hospital, Wade Park.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
There's been like broad daylight murders. Like that?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the MLK one was like 2:15 in the afternoon, and I had drove home that day at around, or wait, no, that was a Saturday. So that Friday, the day before, I had drove home at like 3:30. So I was like a 24-hour window, and they think that this was like.
Cleveland, which I mean, I guess I get, but like, it's crime. Like,
I know, but this
happens.
shit's crazy. There's been 35 cars stolen from just the small area that we live in Ohio City.
Oh man, that kind of reminds me of like a
in the
city.
last 6 months. This area is tiny, John.
Even more reason.
Anyway,
Yeah.
get me the fuck out of here.
But see that goes to show you why gentrification, if it's going to happen, needs to happen in a very small scale to give people time to adjust. Because the big part about it is out here in Ohio City is one side of the street basically. One side of the street is like, West Cleveland. And then the other side of the shit is like West Cleveland, if that makes any sense to you.
I got they're both west. Which one's the not good one? The second one?
The first one.
Wait,
Oh.
I was confused too. So
One was, West Cleveland, and the other one was West Cleveland. Which one was it?
like the West Cleveland, they sound cool.
Exactly. That's the good side of town.
Oh, I thought that was the bad side.
No, we got people with fucking.
It's really confusing. Like you made it sound so cool.
And
Why?
Hello?
Is he not talking to
I
us?
know. What happened?
Dan?
Dan.
I couldn't hear you.
I couldn't hear you either. That's what I was saying. What did you just say?
I can't even honestly remember now. What?
Oh,
Going,
damn.
it just like
Your phone's kind of like breaking up or something.
okay.
Probably us.
Yeah, it probably is.
He's at 10, remember? We're like probably scratching 4 right now.
We're talking about our internet speed. It's fucking atrocious. I called AT&T today, and they're like, "Oh, well, it seems to be that you are just above our, minimum, service speed." And I was like, at 3.8 megabits per second.
You know what the funny part is? It's not funny at all, but the hardwiring has worse speed than the Wi-Fi.
How does that even make sense? How if I connect my PlayStation directly into the router, that's slower than the fucking Wi-Fi that has everything else in this house connected?
That would be your router.
Do we have a good router?
No, we don't.
We have a poopy router?
Apparently. Lord. Oh, man. Well, moving on, because this is going to depress me. There's 2 reasons why we have Dan on here today.
Yeah? What's one?
The first reason why we have Dan on is because it's Dan. And why not have Dan on to, talk about shit or whatever. And the other reason is, I kind of alluded to it on the last episode, but we are trying to add Dan to, or we are going to, I should say, add Dan as a co-host to the show. And, a round of applause. Yay!
Santa! I know him.
Santa?
I didn't get the Santa.
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
Because it's just being excited because you know him. And it's exciting. Fuck off. Anyway, so I was...
Kanye shrug.
So anyway, I was saying on the show the other day that I think you were the only person that John could go invite to be a permanent co-host on our show behind my back. And, I wasn't pissed. I'm so excited.
Behind your back?
Yeah, you never said anything. You're like, so I've been talking to Dan and stuff.
No, we talked about this outside before.
Yeah, a year ago.
No, this was a couple months ago in our Insomniac stage. It was 3, 4 o'clock.
I'm going to remember.
I would hope so if we're having a conversation about something.
Mm-mm.
Wow. All right. Noted. Don't talk to Molly after 2 o'clock in the morning because she's on
that's
fucking
not nice.
autopilot.
Just don't talk.
Because he told me I've been talking to Molly about this, and we decided.
Right.
Oh, well. Anyway, I'm really excited.
Yeah.
You're the only person. Even if I would have remembered this conversation, that if he would have been like, so we're gonna ask. I was thinking we should have so and so come on and be a permanent guest host or co-host. I would be like, really? You don't want me to be on the show anymore? You need a new host?
Well, see, the conversation that John and I had was that we're replacing you with me. And so...
Yeah, that's probably the part that I did leave out. Molly. So, have fun while you're here, because once we figure out our schedules... bye-bye! 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 Bye-bye!
That's not true.
No, that's not true at all.
But I'm super.
I would never. But you know what? Let me pick up where John definitely fell short. Molly, would you mind if I was a co-host with you and John on the Pennymon Doctrine?
I would love it.
Oh, another round of applause! Yay! Oh yeah! This is so great.
But for real, we did talk about this after we had the 2 super long shows with you. We were like, he needs to just be on all the time.
Yeah.
But we weren't. We were too busy moving 15 times and trying to,
keep the show afloat.
Well, and trying to wrap my head around being pregnant with the best baby in the planet besides yours.
You were pregnant? When?
Right after we recorded with Dan, I found out A week later.
Oh, you did.
And I remember texting Dan and being like, so, I think I might be pregnant before you knew.
Oh, really, Dan? Oh, okay. I see how it is, partner. I got you. Okay.
I was terrified, and Dan was like the best. So thank you, Dan, for.
You're welcome.
That was a bad time in my life.
What happened, Dan?
I don't even know what I said to her after that. I was just kind of like, oh shit, does John know?
Yeah, I was like, I don't know for sure, but it's just something's not right. And then I took the test like a week later.
9 months later.
Mm-hmm. No, now it's been like 18 months.
No, I'm saying Lucy was born, and she's the coolest motherfucker on the face of the earth.
We're obsessed. It's ridiculous.
Man. She goes to bed early, or we would have had some Lucy time before we began the show.
Oh, that would have.
But it would have, because she's cool,
loves,
and
like,
she loves looking at herself.
Yeah, she loves
and
just like her dad.
She's fun, and she's funny, and then she gets hungry, and then she starts yelling at you, and that's when she really starts grabbing my beard. Like she'll grab it, from time to time, but when she's a little frustrated and she's just like reaching her hand, like she just she just grabs it. I'm like, oh my god, brother, oh my god, oh my god,
She's like, feed me, dad, now.
Right.
Yeah,
she don't play.
She's so serious.
She does not play at all.
Oh my god, she's hilarious. I love that baby. Anyway.
So yeah, so now we get to kind of talk about the weeds of the stuff, which is my favorite part, which probably is not everybody else's favorite part. But we were talking about how, or I mainly was talking about how we want to change the format of the show a little bit. Reason being, even though I do enjoy boring everyone to death with stuff that they never even thought about or read before or whatever about world events and politics and economics or whatnot, and I try to make it entertaining and whatnot. I'm burnt out. I'm burnt.
And I've been burnt out since even before I met you, so I'm not very good with those topics.
And don't get me wrong, those topics are still going to be there from time to time, but the thing about it is I just want the Pennymon Doctrine to be informative as it is fun. And Dan, you had a podcast before.
Yes.
That I was very upset that you only had like 4 episodes of. I was pissed. He was like, I don't think I'm gonna do it anymore. I'm like, what? You better do that motherfucking show. What you mean? I don't want to do it anymore. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Like, your show is just, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was a show to where, because person, as my company always says, is that we're nerdy, and our slogan is nerds do it better, because you know what, we definitely do. And because of my nerdiness, I love to learn. I love to learn new things. And so, I just sit there and I Google late at night, just like what was, some of the funniest last words that somebody has ever said. So I Google it and I write it down, and I was like, well, I've got this whole entire notebook of people that have, of like things that I've read about and, taken notes on, because I'm a big writer, to share it with people, because I'm always finding myself in conversations going, hey, did you know? And, and that's just how it all started. And I started a podcast, and then Nerdy Bird Graphics became something more than I really intended it to be. And then I had to call it quits on that, because I had to pick one or the other.
That makes sense.
Ooh, but I like those ideas. See, I Google stuff like zip popping and horrible car accidents. That's the stuff I Google. No one really wants to hear about that.
So there was this one zit that, like, when they popped it, it oozed out, and then it was like really stringy.
I don't like the ooze. Those gross me out.
No,
how about zit popping is gross?
No, because we're on this conversation, I will say that, watching those videos and reading about it, I guess, would just be disgusting. But one of my guilty pleasures in life is that when you get like that one zit and you're like in the mirror and it pops and explodes on the mirror, like I get some satisfaction out of that. I don't know why.
That's why, yeah, but I get the same satisfaction watching those zit popping videos, especially like the blackhead ones. Oh my god, it's fascinating.
Well, they like come out like
our
snakes.
body.
Going.
It's not like what?
Like the blackhead ones where it's like a snake and it just keeps on coming out, keeps on coming out.
Yeah, like it's I don't know. And then we'll move on. But it's like our bodies make that stuff. And they don't just make that stuff as like, oh, I'm bored today. Like they make that as protection so that our bodies don't get infected and we don't die. So like we create like these pockets full of like toxins and bacteria, and if we're lucky enough, we can get that shit out of us.
If we're lucky enough.
If we're lucky enough,
yeah.
Do you know how much shit we get out of us on a weekly basis?
John had this one blackhead in his ear once.
Would that be considered a blackhead?
Yeah, it was a blackhead.
Because it was like...
I thought it was a mole. I noticed it when I met him, and so that was like 2 years ago. And then I was messing with him, I don't know, and like I put my finger in his ear and I realized that it wasn't a mole. Like I went and got like my tweezers and like a little pokey thing, and I did like my own home extraction completely. It was great. Can you get another one of those? I want to do it again.
I don't even know how I got it in the first place, to be honest with you.
It's probably like 15 years worth of buildup. Like I removed it was like a scrapbook in your ear.
You know, it was climbed down a tree and had just like the rings. You could just tell, with the
Right.
lights that.
Yeah.
Like I could see the stressful stages. I could see the stages where you were like getting a lot of ass. I could see like, when the boys were born back in high school, when your mom wouldn't let you get video games. It was like
all there in my ear.
Like the middle school dance with his little.
Yeah, I saw.
That was his kung fu stage.
What about my acting stage when I was the lead role in all the plays?
What about when you were doing your Kamehameha in the bedroom?
Oh Lord.
Kame.
I'm not gonna tell you any more of my secrets.
Yeah, right. I already know them.
Because they're not even secrets at this point. Because now the whole fucking world knows, huh? What was that, Dan?
Did you think you were Dragon Ball Z or something?
Well, okay, so when I was in high school, like 13,
when
14,
I was 24,
15, right? I was doing my own little before Google was popular. So I was doing my Ask Jeeves searches. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Ask Jeeves was
I thought
the
Ask
shit.
Jeeves was the shit, yeah. Then it changed to ask.com, and then it just, where did it go?
It's ask.com. I think so.
See, but it's not what, okay.
But nobody cares because it's Google.
Right.
Like, what the fuck you need anything else for? So I would look up, are you able to make an energy ball? Or how can you raise your power level? Or whatever. And so I read this one website that said that you needed to, ground yourself with the earth and meditate and listen to music that or sounds that would raise your aura and things like that. And so I would 4 hours at a time sit in my room listening to an MP3 CD that I made of characters powering up in Dragon Ball Z and meditate. And then I would try to raise my power level by screaming as loud as I could.
Hey, did you reach a power level you wanted?
There's one time I reached the power level called faint.
I was going to say you probably passed out at least once.
Yeah, there was one time where like I was like, I'm going to do this. And my parents are like, all right, well, we're going to head out for a little while. We'll be back later on. I'm like, okay, guys, it's like, make sure you do your chores. Like, all right. So I did my chores like immediately.
Yeah, that's
Right. So I did my shit immediately. It was like, fuck that. Nothing's gonna stop me today. And so, I turned on my MP3 CD, and I was grounding, and I was meditating, and I was like, I look up, and I'm like, it's going down today. So I'm like, ah! And I just was going, and I was going, and then I woke up.
Oh god.
Because I passed out.
Yeah. That's a good story. I like that story.
What's your guilty anime story? You gotta have one, Dan. You have to have a weird guilty anime story.
I unfortunately, as a nerd, and I know that I may get some slack from other nerds, I am not into anime at all.
I didn't hear him correctly. I think he said that he may have broke up a little bit.
I think so.
What was that again, Dan? You said you love which anime?
God, every one of it. Can I pick one? No, that just wouldn't be fair. The anime. And
okay, so I was gonna move on, but
oh my god,
he just made up Asian words. He did that right now.
It's from Street Fighter.
Oh, Hadouken! I thought you said something else. My bad. You're correct.
Oh my god.
So why don't you like anime? And nerd to nerd. So now we're having a nerd conversation. But what's up? What's your deal with anime?
He's trying to convert you like a Jehovah's Witness.
No, I just want to know. I'm curious.
I know, it's okay. I'm just joking.
When I was introduced to anime, it wasn't in a good form. It wasn't Dragon Ball Z. If it was Dragon Ball Z, then I might have gotten into it. But what I was introduced to was some bootleg, like real Japanese kind of subtitled stuff that I didn't get. I didn't understand. It was really weird. It was that tentacle weirdness kind of stuff. And I was
so you got introduced to hentai.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you told me about that. Or did you show me?
So someone's like, hey, you want to watch an anime? And you're like, all right, cool. So then they have Ghost Monster Tentacle Fucker.
Yeah, basically.
Who has 8 girls strung up on his one tentacle while he's fucking them with 8 other tentacles.
Yeah, and I was pretty young at that time, and so I didn't know what any of this stuff was. And
wow,
and to watch it, I was like, this is just weird. I'm not gonna watch this stuff anymore.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't either.
Yeah, you know, I understand where you're coming from with that sentiment. I'm pretty sure I could lead you to 2 shows. I wouldn't even go to Dragon Ball Z because that's like 300 episodes long. But I could send you to probably 2 or 3 shows that are at most 26 episodes long. That will change
there
your
are
mind.
a few really goodies, but
because my whole thing is about story, right? And the way animes tell stories is just absolutely remarkable. But here nor there, I just was curious about that. But yeah, getting back to what we were originally talking about, with the Dan being a co-host and all that.
Oh yeah, man, we really got away.
So starting off, we are going to have Dan come on and have a segment, and that segment will be whatever the hell it is Dan wants to have a segment about, and he's gonna do what he does, and we're just gonna laugh because I guarantee it's gonna be funny. And
be on camera just popping zits. That's all that I'm going to do.
See, don't
yes.
suck up to Molly with nasty zit popping videos.
We can do this guy.
Oh my god, there's nothing there.
Well, there won't be later.
Oh my god.
You got it. Okay, here we go. All right.
Right.
I've been looking on Amazon because I'm buying blackhead like a removal kit.
Okay.
I wish that I could go
but
watch something on YouTube all day and then decide to go on Amazon and buy it, like, I don't know, a fucking green screen and a game capture card and a fucking
this thing is like $8.
Mixer. Damn.
Yeah. Nice try there, fella.
Why does everything I want have to cost at least $150?
Because you're a little pretty princess.
Why don't you make your own green screen?
I mean, I was going to, but we don't really have the way our setup is. Like, that's our bed right there.
Yeah.
So we don't really have. I mean, I probably could be intuitive, but I don't know. Because right now we
intuitive.
Yeah. I was questioning.
What would be intuitive about?
Why are you?
You mean you like have the ingenuity to do it?
Sure.
Or you mean like you have like the third eye?
Did I use Yeah, I did use intuition incorrectly.
You did.
I did. I guess ingenuity was what I was thinking of. Thank you, Dan, for saving me. And fuck you, Molly, for calling me out like a fucking asshole. But yeah, right now we're streaming in the living room, and we have two of those like on the floor game chairs. I mean, you couldn't tell by watching the stream, but maybe you could tell by watching the stream. So I mean, if I had a green screen, I would move the coffee table completely and have it behind that.
We just need a new house.
Yeah, I mean, I really would want to just put something up there and have it, but
we've been very clever with making this place work.
In the meantime, I'll just get like a whole set. Because it comes with lights and all that shit too. We definitely need the lights. I look like a shadow with a Browns jersey on right now.
Dude, that's probably why you think you look dark, because you put brown on.
So maybe if I had like a cream shirt?
Yeah. You want my sweater?
No. So what kind of ideas have you come up with, or do you think you're going to come up with as a way to get people to understand what your segment's going to be about when you do it?
Well, if I knew what my segment was, I probably would, give a bit of, prelude to it, but I don't. Because I'm one of those people that I'm a creative person, okay? That's why I do graphic design and illustration, to where if you give me, and this is what John has done. John has given me just the open world. To where he said, you want to talk about something? Talk about it. I don't really care what it is. Whatever you want to talk about it. And I hate when people do that, because I like the confinement. The confinement, I pushed him. I tried to push him to give me some, like, you want to know, like, news? What kind of news do you want? You want, like, political? I don't know. And he was like, no, you talk about anything. So I've been bouncing back and forth on what I want to do, because I do have a lot of different passions that I have, gone into, and learning is one of them. And so the fun facts, I always love doing that. I love talking about that kind of stuff. And, gaming, I'm a gamer. And so, I was thinking, well, let's do something with gaming. I'm not really too sure what I'm going to do at all. And it'll probably be one of those spur of the moment decisions, to where you're just going to go, hey, Dan, we're recording tomorrow. And I'm going to go, shit. All right. Get something. But because I have notebooks. I'm a writer. I love my notebooks. I've got, tons and tons and tons of them, of just ideas and, things that I've thought of throughout the years, and of things that I want to do. So I'm trying to go through those and pick exactly what passion do I have. Like, what passion do I have right now that is going to continue for years and years to come? Because
Go on.
I know that your podcast is going to be here for years and years to come. So I don't want to pick something that I'm just interested in now. I want to pick something that I'm interested in for the long run. And being a creative person, I'm always thinking of new stuff, and I'm always interested in new things. So to pick something that it has longevity to it is going to be hard.
I have an idea.
What?
Okay.
What if the segment is called The Notebook, and we just have Dan open his notebook and read us some shit? And build a conversation off of whatever random page he opens to.
That would be interesting. But
that is pretty interesting.
Do I have to look like Ryan Gosling?
No, it's okay.
No.
But you should probably look like Rachel McAdams.
I could probably do that. I really could just shave down.
He doesn't need to look like Ryan. He needs to look like Rachel.
How? But okay. Yeah.
God, he acts like that's crazy.
No,
Good job, Molly. Yay.
I mean,
Thank you.
no matter what you decide to do, I'm down for.
All right.
The big thing about it is your
My
segment.
idea would always be a good like fall back on oh shit plan.
Correct.
Absolutely.
But my end all be all, or my where I'm trying to get to.
Your intuition.
Oh my God, is you're gonna be just a co-host, not just a co-host. You're gonna be a co-host, and
Yeah, we're more than just co-hosts, okay?
and then you're gonna just be doing the whole show and not just have a segment. So the segment, you know, for however long that lasts until we get our scheduling in order and, you know.
But he could still have his segment even later on.
Well, true. I'm just saying that, like, you know, at the end of the day, you don't have to rack your brain too hard.
When it's all said and done, it'll be okay.
Look, Molly, you want to use my Johnisms? You want to Johnism me right now?
One. Everybody.
One, don't do that. Two, three more things.
Are there 4 things?
There's 3 things.
Yeah.
There's 3 things.
Okay.
One,
Yeah.
don't mock me.
Oh, okay.
2,
Uh-huh.
my Johnisms are cool to me, and they're like social vocal tics that I have. Okay, so go fuck yourself. 3,
yeah,
go fuck yourself.
Uh-huh.
And 4,
he ran. See, he lost track. He didn't have shit after 3.
I didn't have shit after 2, but I said 4, and that's my Johnism because I came up with 4 in my head, and then I forgot what the last 2 were.
Whenever he does that, he has like, so if he says like, all right, there's 4 things. He usually only has 2 things, but he's gonna come up with 2 at the end because John.
No, see, I said 2 originally because those are the first 2 that popped in my head.
Right, but you're like, I'm sure I can pull 2 more.
No.
Oh.
While I'm saying 2 more pop in my head.
But you usually lose them, and then you have to just make up 2.
So what happens is, by the time I get to 3, I halfway remember 3, forgot 4, and so I'm like, fuck. And then I halfway make up 3, and then I make 3 a rant, so I don't even have to get to 4. Which is my fault because I put myself in that situation in the first place.
Hilarious.
Well, regardless of John's idioms, I mean Johnisms, you know.
Oh, poor John.
I hope that I can keep pace. I really do.
Well, I mean, at the end of... Oh, my God. Almost did it again.
When it's all said and done,
no,
Dan.
Molly.
When it's all said and done, John has 2 things that he wants to do.
No, 4 things.
4 things.
And then, you know what? Then we're going to pin the last one on the wall and never come back.
Put a pin in that one, Molly.
Oh, man.
My God.
But see, that's why I need to write stuff down when I'm ranting like that. Because when I say pin it on the wall, like, first off, that's a great expression. So fuck you for that. Pin it on the wall is a great expression because you just take the point, you pin it on the wall so you can take it down.
Well,
and
when we started this 2 years ago, we had Post-it, and you would literally post it on the wall. I think like 2 shows you did that.
Yeah.
But even then, he didn't go back.
Well, because then I'm looking at time like, shit, it's been an hour and 5 minutes.
You mean 4 hours and 5 minutes.
Oh, my God. And we have, 3 stories left, so I might want to get to them. But, yeah, you'll be able to keep pace, dude. Like I said, I want to change the format, and I want things to be a little more... It's going to be Pennymon Doctrine-y, where, like, I come at things from a different perspective because I just come at things from a different perspective. Like, here's the reason why I like and I agree with Common Core math, right? I don't think Abby has to deal with, like, she's...
Not
Abby in?
She's in middle school. Yeah, once she hits middle school, I will have that issue, and she will too.
Right. And you know what? It seems like it's an issue, and I guess it will be an issue, but you got to look at it like this, though. the way we do math nowadays is based off of a system that was created in the 20s and 30s when they created the Department of Education and just kind of nationalized education as a whole. They came up with what's the easiest way we can get kids to be educated enough to be workers, and then we would take the smartest ones of them and we'll put them in the skilled jobs like doctor, lawyer, whatever. And then, all that then it just turned into a prison factory. But that's here nor there. If you really don't understand what I'm talking about, those listening, go watch Waiting for Superman. It'll blow your mind. It'll blow your mind on the education system, but it's like a documentary that's pro charter school, which I have a problem with charter schools. So I don't like the charter school part of it because it was supposed to make charter schools look good. I don't know if have you seen the documentary before?
No.
Have you seen the documentary before, Dan?
No.
Man, y'all need to see that shit. But anyway, it's like a documentary that's showing how fucked up the education system is that makes these charter schools, the go-to place to go. But then you only get so many kids that can go into the charter school that, a good number of kids almost made it to the school that they would learn from, and now they got to go back to this prison factory. But now I lost my train of thought.
You're talking about
Common Core, right? So the way we grew up learning math, right? We know that 1 + 1 = 2. We know that 5 × 4 = 20. We know that 10 divided by 10 is 1, whatever it is, right? And we're able to do the things that we need to do based off of learning it that way. Common Core is taking that same path and just going a different route, which is making you problem solve and just think about a simple problem a different way, which is I think what this generation, the generation, I would say that our generation needed it, but that's perfect for the kids coming up nowadays and that are going to be coming up soon, because they don't do things the way that we did things. I mean, we got the internet when we were in fucking 5th grade, 4th grade, is when it got really big and in all the schools.
Yeah.
They don't know anything but the internet. They don't know anything but technology.
I know in middle school and in high school. In middle school, they start off with they give the kids laptops. I don't know if it's in your area, but I know that a lot.
They do iPads at my son's school.
iPads. They do the notebook and stuff like that, or the MacBooks, and they give them that for 3 years. And they say, you have to pay a certain amount. There you go. And that's how they're learning now. Is they're learning through that electronic device, and they're also learning within the classroom as well. Now with the Common Core, I don't really have an issue with it. I mean, when it comes down to, my daughter doing all of that math and, she's starting to do algebra and there's formulas for algebra. When you have those formulas, what I know is the answer and how to get to the answer. She's being taught completely different. Now, say that she understands the way that I was taught when I was a kid. And I had this issue with my nephew as well, because he started the Common Core. And I was explaining to him, through what he was taught, how to solve the problem. He did not get it whatsoever. And math is a pinnacle thing that you need in life. I don't care what job you are in, what you are doing in your life, you need math. And, as simple as grocery shopping, it doesn't even have to do with a job. Grocery shopping, you need math.
Right.
And so I don't care how you get to the answer. If he understood the way that I was taught better than what he is being taught in school, why should he be marked down? Because he was marked down because he did it my way instead of the way that he was taught. And from a teaching point of view, yes, that is frustrating because he's not with the class now. He's now on a different way of learning, but he understands it more. So what is the issue? And so if Abby, my daughter, understands the new math system and I have no idea what the heck they're talking about, then I'm glad that she got it. I don't have to get it as long as she gets it, and I can check her homework the way that I do it to where she gets the right answer. Because the right answer is all that you need to have. You know, you need to solve it, and you need to have the right answer. So I don't understand the issue that people are having with this new transition.
Well, I know because my son, it's, I mean, it's not, he's in fourth grade, so it's not like he's learning, you know, he's not in algebra, for one. Okay, let's say that. So, but like, he consistently has the same errors on his homework. And when he does, like a subtraction problem, let's say, you know how, like, when we were taught, like, you start with, like, the ones and then tens and then hundreds and thousands, and you do the problem one step at a time, starting, you know, from the ones over as they get bigger.
Yeah.
He's been taught that what you do first is you do all the borrowing stuff up top, so that you have a whole new list of numbers at the top. So like if it was 5 minus 9, you know, you would already have borrowed from the next number. You know what I mean? But they do all that first. So like the problems that I run into is, like, he knows how to do math, but I get confused on why he's doing it the way he's doing it, and, you know, and then I get frustrated, and I'm like, why would you even, you know, 7 minus 3 is 4. Why do you have 6? Like, you know what I mean? And he tries to explain it. We're talking 2 different languages doing the same problem. So that's where it's getting frustrating for me. But, you know, now that I'm understanding a little bit of what he's doing, but, like, he thinks what I'm doing is completely crazy. But then when I explain what I'm doing to him, you know, oh God, when I explain what I'm doing to his math problem to get the answer that I'm getting, like, he's like, oh, that does make sense. So I don't know if I'm confusing him, like, if he's going to go to school and do it my way and get in trouble, just like how you're talking about with your nephew. Like, I don't know. But it's just, it's hard to teach him at home when, like, literally I'm speaking Spanish and he's speaking Japanese. But we're both doing the same math problem.
And that, to me, go ahead, Dan.
And I completely understand that, because, you know, the way that we were taught is, you know, it makes sense to us, because, I mean, we were taught that from elementary to high school. That's just how we were taught. And now they're switching it up. And I believe that as a parent, it is my responsibility, and this is what I'm going to do, is to learn the different way that they are teaching.
Yeah.
So that I can keep up with her. You know, because as she progresses in the grades, because she's only in first grade right now, as she progresses, because she is doing algebra, which is the weirdest freaking thing for a first grader to do.
Right.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know you mentioned that, but I
knew you're. I did too, because you said, well, when she gets to middle school, which is usually when you learn algebra.
Right, or fifth, sixth.
But if she's learning algebra in first grade, then I'm actually kind of happy about that. But go on, dude.
I mean, it's a very simplified version of algebra, you know, to where the solve for X is, you know, a word problem, to where Johnny's making, you know, beaded necklaces, and he has this many beads. How many necklaces can he make?
Oh, yeah.
And
but
that
still, that is advanced for first grade, but now
True.
I see what you're saying.
So, but like in the way that she's being taught, I'm learning along with her. You know, she has her books and her assignments and everything else, and I'm the one that actually does her homework with her. And so I'm teaching myself as well. And math is not my subject whatsoever. I'm an English, history, you know, creative person. That's just what I've always done. Science, history, and English. And so when it comes to math, I don't get it. So I'm teaching myself, and I think that is my job, my responsibility as a parent, to keep up with it. And a lot of these parents that I'm talking to that have their kids in middle school and in high school, they are just going, well, I don't understand it, and so I can't help them out with their homework. That's your fault. That is your fault.
Right.
Because you as a parent are supposed to, you know, help their education along. It is not solely upon the educators and the education system to teach them. Parent, you have to teach them as well. So teach yourself how to do it.
Absolutely.
You know?
And you know, as you guys are talking about this that is, teaching your kid, keeping up with your kid's math, right, is kind of a micro analogy for what I'm trying to do with the Pennymon Doctrine. That I tried to go about it in a way that I thought would get to my end goal, but was a little backwards. And so now what I'm trying to do is, I guess to make the analogy make sense, I'm trying to get the audience, maybe even the co-hosts, and hence the reason why I would love to have you guys as that we will be co-hosts together, is I'm not saying that I'm the smartest tool in the shed or whatever, but I'm pretty good on a bunch of different subjects, that both of you agree that you don't keep up on. So my thing is if I'm able to make my friends that I care about, understand the complex things in a simple way, one, to have a different point of view. I'm not coming up with two more. Have a different point of view on it as well, in order to get past the status quo that we have. I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like, people are super upset with Common Core and they blame the government. But my whole idea of it is if you're looking at 1 + 1 = 2 differently, right, then maybe you'll be able to solve, crime, or employment, or the economy, or,
So you're saying that you're doing Common Core and we are still doing the standard.
Yes. And that's why I go. What's that?
I said you're basically saying that we are daft and you are the superior person.
No. What I'm saying is I have the textbook that looks at things a different way, that is going to help you as analogous parents to be able to teach your kids, which are your peers. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Because it's one of those things where it's like, I go after conservatives so much, and especially when I talk to them, like I was talking to you about the guy that I had at work or whatever, like I understand what his problem is. His problem is he is a white guy who's always of America. Everything that's ever been created in the history of this country was literally for him. For him, everything. Marketing, education system, college, job market, women, everything is built for him. And so now that things are getting a little bit complex, because there's different people that from maybe when he was growing up didn't say anything, like, I don't know, black people, that are trying to have things be more equitable. Or when you have women that are trying to have things be more equitable. Or you have you're connected with the world, and you really see that, Iran really isn't as bad as Dick Cheney was talking about. Or, I have friends that live in Iraq, and, the stuff that they're saying that's going on isn't what I'm hearing in the media. And it's now you have a whole generation of people that are looking at things a different way, but then they go and watch TV, and they go and look at the news, and they go and look at all these different problems, and they're teaching the regular 1 + 1 = 2. And they're not understanding why that in their reality, things are happening one way, but then on the news, things are being told the other way. And so to make things easy, because how they learned everything was from their parents, or how they learned everything was from their grandparents, they're just following that road. And our parents and our grandparents don't want to change. But the thing about it is, parents and grandparents, we live in a technological world, 1. 2, y'all motherfuckers is getting old as shit, and we're about to take charge. And throughout our whole life, no matter what you've tried to tell us, we really don't give a fuck. We're going to do what we want to do. And what we want to do is have things be more fair, have things be more equal, and have things be more even. And that's not communism, that's not socialism, even though you would have to do social things in order to have that happen. But we just want things to work for more people than they have in the past.
Absolutely. And you were talking about like our generation. Our generation are the ones that are becoming more prevalent within, media, marketing, businesses, and, political things. It's our generation that is going to be up next. And in a lot of things, we are already there. Like if you look at commercials today, Okay, they're not marketed for our parents.
No.
They're not marketed for our kids. They're marketing for us. And like you have the Geico little lizard guy in his like latest commercial. He's dusting off his shoulder. Our parents are not going to understand that.
Right. True.
And the younger generation, they may get it, but this is ours. And I look really white doing this, by the way. I just know.
I love it.
Oh man, it's hilarious. Yeah, you did kind of look really white boy with that, but that's because you are a white boy and you know your place. Now
it'd be like the girl that goes, yeah, okay, peace,
victory.
Oh my god, guys.
Or I need to have a teardrop come down when Molly does half the shit that she does.
So our generation are the ones that are going to be the prevalence within the country, the world. And these old people, the older generation, the baby boomers, and the generation after, they have to understand this, that they're no longer the dominance within our country, because their views are old. Their views and their way of living and their way of life are now obsolete, because the world has changed for equality, for other different aspects within the world, within our economy, within our way of life, within our technology and everything else. Yes, the technology that we use today of the internet was designed by a baby boomer.
But now we making billions of dollars off of websites and shit. Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg.
You look at Facebook. Facebook was made by our generation. And the social medias that we are using that are making impacts within our lives, within our country, within our politics, is made by us. And I do agree that these older generations, they just need to understand and need to back off. They really do.
Well, I mean, and that's where you have to look at words the way they're being used. So, it's funny to me how when talking to someone who's conservative, they always want to talk shit about the liberals, right? And the liberals want to talk shit about the conservatives. But the way I look at it, and this is the reason why a lot of people don't quite understand that when I say I have no political party or no political affiliation, they don't quite get that, especially considering that I'm I would probably consider myself far left, because I would consider myself a democratic socialist like Bernie Sanders. But I'm not looking at what they're saying in a left, right, conservative, liberal kind of not dichotomy, but dichotomy that they are. I mean, I'm speaking in those terms, but what I'm looking at is the age groups. You know how easy it is for me to get a younger person to who's super, like there was this friend of mine that I'm probably gonna have on the show soon, Mikey. Mikey is if left unchecked, will be the uncle that comes to Thanksgiving dinner talking Fox News talking points. If left unchecked, do you know how many times when having conversations with him he goes, well, you're right. I just, based off of how I was taught, every time that's how I know I won. I beat you, bro, because, all right, you're right, but how I was taught, yeah, how you were taught by your father, who is a white guy who lived in the 60s in the United States of America and owned his own business, and, so I get what you're saying, Mikey, and there's things that do need to change, that the conservatives make points, but let's look at the word conservatism. To conserve the status quo. So why do you think right now, and you probably, Molly probably is more on board with this one, but right now Congress, the conservatives in Congress are losing their shit because the older heads, who are, to be honest with you, the moderates and the reasonable people, let the party be infiltrated by these crazy fucking, uncle dudes that have Fox News talking points that don't make any sense. Now, on the surface, it makes sense, right? Terrorism bad, America good, fight terrorism. Sounds like it makes sense, right? Who the fuck is gonna pay for that? Who you gonna send to war? You sending my daughter to war? Fuck no. You gonna send my kids to war? Fuck, for what? Because you don't know the history of what's gone on in the past 50, 60 years, and you don't know that we've literally been pissing them off every day for decades, and that's why they hate us. Like, there's a whole bunch of different things that they just don't get, and their platitudes, as even though they sound good, right? 1 + 1 = 2. Even though it sounds good, it doesn't really work that way in the reality of the world that we live in. So we need common core thinking, or a different perspective, and not necessarily just a left-wing perspective. I'm not talking about that, because you have older Democrats or older liberals that have the same kind of backwards, left way of thinking. And, or here, case in point, because it's really hard.
That's another one. Case in point.
It's really hard to make. It's really hard to make the point that I just made. Yeah. So I'll do it this way. Well, I believe in racial equality. I marched with Martin Luther King. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't march with Martin Luther King. Shut the fuck up. Like, you didn't. Not very many people did, because he didn't do it for that long, and then he got shot. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't. So stop saying you did to try to be cool, because you don't know how to talk about the things that need to be talked about, because you thought that you didn't need to talk about it, because you thought that you already felt that you weren't racist. But you have racial, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's all these things that people just don't quite get. And I think that having what I view as a super crew of my friends who love to have conversations, and maybe not love to get in the weeds of the things that I like to talk about, we can do the common core type stuff between the stuff that we us three can agree on that is interesting to us, and then I can, for the most part, or until you pick up on it, especially considering that in Dan's case, you're probably gonna have to read some stories that you haven't read very often, if at all. But once you start picking it up, my common core way of thinking, it's not even my common core way of thinking, but like a common core way of thinking, a different perspective on our nation's issues, are going to, at least if they're not going to work or they're not going to be applied or whatever, at least can be talked about in a reasonable way. And, we can get into some stories here real quick, but because I wanted to hear your thoughts on a few things that happened. But I just wanted to say, I've been talking to one of our loyal listeners for a while about just this. And, it seems, if you read the conversations, at times it seems as though, like, we're really going at each other. But what we're really trying to do is understand each other. But what I'm trying to tell her is, I understand you already. I get where you're coming from already. The reason why I don't present it that way is because that's where basically everyone else is coming from. And shit's not changing. So why don't we look at something completely different? And so my case in point is the big thing that she gets me on is you remember the Santa Barbara shooter, the guy who shot like 5 people, and he was really mad about women, and he had these YouTube videos, and remember that, Dan? Okay. So she got upset at me with that because I, just like with the Oregon shooter, went to the origin of the problem, which is dating and relationships. So yes, mental health is an issue. We need to work on that. Yes, we have a gun problem in this country, whether people want to believe it or not. I get that part.
Okay, I don't stop you, but I'm going to, because you brought up mental health.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
As you were saying before, like 1 + 1 = 2. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed that in the media and with politicians and everything else, that what they're giving us is not 1 + 1 = 2. They're telling us 1 + 1 = fucking potato, like especially Fox News like that. And so I don't take them all too seriously. But with the mental health issue, I hate when you had the gentleman that went into the church, killed a whole bunch of people.
Fuckerton? Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say his name, but
his name is Fuckity Fuckerton Fuck. I hope he gets raped.
But what did they do? Immediately, they said, oh, he was mentally disturbed. He had schizophrenia. He had this. He had that. So then this school shooting happened. First thing that they said, mentally disturbed. You know, mental illness is a huge thing. And then now all these politicians are piling in saying about, oh, we need to correct mental health, the mental health organization. And I do agree that, yes, mental health organizations definitely need to be looked at again and reevaluated, because the last time that they were reevaluated was in the 1950s. And so it was around about 100%, 1950s, 1960s. And so I'm tired of media just going, oh, he shot somebody, mental illness. You know,
unless he's black, and then he's just a criminal.
Or unless it's actually like a for real mental illness, and then they don't talk about it. They don't put it into consideration at all. They're like, oh, they were just crazy.
Yeah.
Or if he's from Middle Eastern descent, he's a terrorist.
Yes, absolutely. And they categorize these things at will. Okay. And they just go, oh, terrorist, mentally ill, crazy, nut, you know, this, that, whatever have you.
Black.
You know. Yes, black. That guy's black, that's his problem. He was just born black.
He was black, and then he was a part of Black Lives Matter. I don't know how I made that connection, but I said it, and now it's true.
There you go. And that's what they do. They say these things, and then bam, true.
Right.
And I'm tired of media doing that. And because, like I said, +1 does not equal potato. And our generation needs to know that. And I would love for you to inform us. And that's why I've always tuned into your show, is because you were informing me that 1 + 1 does equal 2.
And that's the part about it that's the hardest, is because, like, it's one of those situations where I arrogantly say that I'm always trying to be on the right side of things. And what I need to say to make it less Tony Starky is I'm just trying to have 1 + 1 = 2, which is the right answer. So right. 1 + 1 = 2, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And Molly made the point about, something that's, somewhat important to us, is the Black Lives Matter movement as I wouldn't say as a whole, but like when you look at the aggregate of the quote unquote members, because they really don't have like a membership type thing, that she astutely was saying that 2 + 2 = 4 is the one that she likes to use, but the way they go about it is, well we're gonna do 1.377 plus 2.933, which doesn't equal 4. There's a way to go about things that's going to work when you're trying to do something like on a mass scale. You know what I mean? So like, say for instance, with my different way of thinking, I come up with a way to make something better, and it makes sense. Now what we need to do is take that idea and we need to push it forward and get it to go into thank you, computer. Get it to go into into the masses mode, right? Whether it be legislation, whether it be, that's something that we teach our kids nowadays. Like, I don't know about you, but I think that spanking has drastically gone down over the last few generations. Was that done through legislation? Was that done through, law enforcement? No, that was done because it just hasn't been acceptable.
No.
It hasn't been acceptable to I almost restarted the computer. It's just not acceptable to spank your kids. Why? Because we don't want to hurt our kids, and we've heard from people smarter than us that this is actually abuse and this is ruining their life. Okay, so let's apply the same logic to people who multiple times, not even just people who kill each other. Let's look at Gamergate. Let's look at what 4chan is. Let's look at some of these subreddits that had to get edited and things, revamped and things like that. They are telling you that they fucking hate women because the way that our society is makes it so hard for them to do the most quintessential thing in order to continue humanity, which is get someone to like them. Because the way that I was taught was, hey, bitch, what's going on? Trying to get on these nuts? And that may just been misguided. I don't know who was teaching you, brother. Like, maybe you need better friends, or, someone needs to slap your father, or stop listening to your cousin. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But but there obviously is an issue with men who have a problem with women. On that same token, you have women who are so tired of the system that men control that they put them in the same box, just on opposite ends of the spectrum. So now here's what we have. You have men that hate women because the way that our society, society is, our patriarchal society is, puts these type of guys in a box to where they can't socially navigate, right? And then you have these women who have been affected by this patriarchal society that they just hate all men. And then now you have the fringes who are the loudest, talking the most shit. And now we can't have an honest conversation about what these people who are killing people's problem is. I can't bring up dating and relationships because people died. But they died because of dating and relationships. So this isn't really even Common Core. This is like, and I got this from CNN. And I give CNN this. I'm listening to CNN, and I'm looking on my phone. I was at my mom's house, and I'm looking, trying to figure out some information because we're going to do a show in a day or two or something. So I'm like, I got to learn about this. And I couldn't find anything. They weren't really telling any names. They weren't telling any motives. But then they had started, Twitter, millennials, did some like internet sleuthing and found this guy on 4chan, I believe it was, telling people not to be in Oregon at this time and date because he was going to go kill people. So then when you dig a little bit further, he is involved in men's rights activist websites, and he's in pickup artist websites. And all that shit is just a bunch of fucking angry fucking boys mentally who are trying to, who just to make the point make sense, because not all of them are like this, but just to make it make sense. You have, what's a geeky nerdy dude? You have these Poindexter, and I don't like, I'm using this as an example. I don't view it this way. But you have these Poindexter-looking dudes, which is, to make the point, again, I'm trying to be clear here because we have trolls. Poindexter-looking dudes trying to get Victoria's Secret supermodels. And then upset because they can't get Victoria's Secret supermodels because society has told them, if you do this, you will get what you want. Yeah. So there's two things at play here. One, patriarchal society, and two, our inability to talk to each other about relationships. So why don't we just do that? I forgot it already. I don't know what it was. I don't remember what 3 was. But why don't we just do that? When it comes to mental health, like you were talking about, we see that mental health, there are mental health problems and loopholes and things that we should do within our medical industry to fix this.
Absolutely.
So we can't get that help. What kind of, is this fucking feudalism back in, the 1500s? I thought this was 2015 in the most wealthiest country in the world, USA #1, and because I'm poor, I can't get my mental health shit figured out. Oh man, it just drives me insane. But obviously, I get passionate, and I want to get passionate about these things. But I have learned, especially considering since I'm not going to broadcasting school, especially considering that since I'm going to broadcasting school and trying to be a sports radio host, and listening to the popular sports radio hosts, whether they be locally or nationally, they get into the weeds. They do. But they talk about the shit that gets people to listen first. And that's my mistake. I figured that I could just ram, the weeds into people and try to be entertaining while doing it and think that it would work. That's not going to work. So I need my friends that have other interests that I might not necessarily know, and who are very entertaining on top of that, be able to present that, and then we can talk about that, and then all of that ends up correlating to our society, the human race, individual race, gender, whatever it may be. And so, anyway. Okay, so let's consent. So, Dan, I'm not going to do all of these. We'll probably just get stuck on one of them. So I'm going to pick this one.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot less pop cultural stuff, and I probably want to deal with the other two on the main show. So I was looking for stories, and I saw a headline that was called "The
most sexist email you'll read today. And so I was like, oh shit, what did some motherfucker do? Like, he must have did some stupid shit. I gotta see this. So I get it, and I open it up, and the way that it's framed is this way. Raise your hand if you've ever received a misogynist email, a quick hit note that cut you down because of your gender. Many of us have been there, and the experience is enough to make your inbox. But when MindJet Chief Marketing Officer Amy Millard received the misogynist email to top all other misogynist communications, she didn't take it sitting down in her office chair. She posted the blast to Twitter. And in the social media aftermath, the man resigned his position. Now, I'll get to that. Pin that on the wall. But I'm going to go back to it. I was going to say, Molly, read this email. Okay, no. Wait, pause. Read this one first. So, to kind of build it up a little bit, there is an event that Girls in Tech, which is a global organization focused on engagement and empowerment of women in the tech sector. They were creating this event, and they were trying to get MindJet, what does MindJet do? MindJet is the community of queer women in and around tech, right? She had issue with what the event was called. Go on now.
So you want me to say that was her response?
Yeah, the initial email.
He must have emailed her and said, hey, we're going to have this event, which is called Ladies Pitch Night, wondering if you would be interested in sponsoring something like that. Her response was,
Dan's not there. This isn't going to be on the podcast. But
maybe we should end YouTube anyway. We gave them much more than...
No, but it's Dan. But, where's my phone? I still use my phone as a hotspot.
Yeah. So anyway, folks, I'm going to tell you a story.
About what?
About how sweaty John's face is.
Yeah, I'm getting hot.
Yeah, you are.
Hot and hurt.
You didn't play.
Oh, he's trying to get back in. So let me do this.
So this is the story all about how my life got switched, turned upside down.
I won a little fight. My mom got scared.
She said, you were on the ballet.
So what's the for a cab? And when it came near, the license plates said fresh and had dicey.
If anything, I could say that this cab is rare.
But I thought, no, home to get it. Let's something with Bel Air.
I
pulled up to the house around 7 or 8 a.m. Look at my kingdom. I was finally there. Oh, it's about there. Oh, you're back.
Yes.
We're having a little dance party.
I am so sorry. It wouldn't be, me, on as a guest without me losing connection like I did last time. So,
It's okay. We've gone for a while and it hasn't happened. I don't know what's happening, but in the background it sounds like there's a girl monster. And I think it's my feedback, which is really garbage.
Yeah, that's on. And I was trying to fix it earlier, and I lost connection. And so
I didn't hear that until recently. Is that what it's been like for you this whole time?
No, not the whole time, but recently, yes.
Do you have headphones?
I do. All right, hold on. I will go get them.
It's so funny. Dan,
this extra content too. I'm actually glad.
You should get there.
I'm actually glad that this happened because now on the announcement of the end, you're gonna have to listen to this, watch this long ass video in order to get this bonus content that we have. I feel like doing the content. I'm sitting down, so it's hard. Why are we doing Fresh Prince of Bel-Air stuff? It's the first thing that popped in my head too. What? When you were trying to think of something? Yeah. It just says on the front page. Like, you did the Fresh Prince, and I was like, I was about to do the Fresh Prince. I don't even know why, because we're so intuitive. We're so intuition. Is that how it goes? Does that have a microphone on it?
It does.
Oh wow, you sound like him too. And there's no feedback.
There's no feedback. Good.
Feedback.
You definitely still sound like a freaking monster in my ears, and I don't know what's going on.
I sound like a monster in your ears?
Yeah, like it sounds absolutely horrible, and I don't know what's going on.
You sound great. I don't. I don't know what to do on that one.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
Am I too loud?
No, I don't know what it is.
Do you want to switch to Skype and let YouTube go? Because I was trying to have extra bonus content because we were talking to you. And we have had extra bonus content, obviously, for about an hour. But we can switch over to Skype with that. Makes things easier for you.
Oh, we can test out Skype.
And then we'll just do this one story, talk about it, and we'll let you know.
All right, man.
All right. So, I will hit you. Do you have Molly's Skype?
I don't know whose Skype I have. I mean, I know that it's just either John Pennymon or the Pennymon Doctrine.
Okay. Let me see this.
There. What I look like as a gamer.
See, what I look like as a gamer is I got the PlayStation 4 little cheapy headphones, which are cool. Because when I'm starting to stream, I'm actually going to use a microphone.
Yeah, I don't skip out because these are Razer, so. And it's weird to keep like this because I usually wear them like this so I can hear everything. But anyway, all right. Do you want to switch over to Skype?
Oh, that's fancy. Your headphones.
Thanks.
Yeah, they just noticed a little microphone.
Those are gaming headphones.
Yes.
You're lucky that I haven't wanted those.
You want everything.
Yeah, I do.
And you're so lucky because I get you these things when you least expect them.
That is true. But I also get you things when you least expect them as well.
Name one.
Do you want me to for real?
Yeah.
Like, you really want me to?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this inappropriate.
No, I'm talking about regular gifts. John, Pennymon.
What?
Oh my God, you're nuts.
All right. I think I have it here. I don't see you.
I think when we talked to him. No.
I'm gonna have to sign in to Skype because I don't have it signed in yet.
What's your name?
It's that shit right there.
Satchel. SAS.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my gamer tag. Which, by the way, just so that you know, if you ever see me on Twitch, call me Satchel, please.
Oh, good to know. Good to know.
Okay.
It's a gamer tag, and I mean, like doing stuff like this, I don't mind saying my name. But when it comes to games, I've built myself a bit of a reputation.
I'm definitely there with you.
Look, Dan, I have my first video game callus.
It's a Rocket League one.
Oh. You know what? I've had a drawing callus for a very long time.
I had one of those when I was in like 6th grade. Now I just have crooked fingers.
Well,
want them dearly.
So. You signed in yet?
no, I have to get out of this conversation to actually do that.
Oh,
Man, all right.
we were just chilling.
I'm sorry, man. I'll sign in.
Say bye, you two.
Bye, YouTube.
Later.
I'll say bye with my
I hope you enjoyed our technical difficulties with us. But if you enjoyed this conversation will happen a lot more often because we are going to have Dan on as a co-host.
And hopefully no more technical issues.
What we would love you to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. There'll be way better videos later on to come. There's actually just going to be videos, regular videos that we're going to be doing as well.
Can you still see me on here?
You're just an icon.
All right.
An actual, it's a beautiful piece done by
Dan Richardson at Nerdy Bird
Yeah.
GFX on Twitter.
Do you like our logo?
YouTube. My audio is getting weird. The last bits of this conversation will be on the audio stream. So
And it's
check out both.
It's a little piece of what the show will be like when we have Dan as a co-host.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a real test run.
Oh, jeez, man. There's going to be some real shit going down.
This is one of my stories. This is one of my stories, though. So
Everything's your story, John.
90% of what we do is my stories.
99.
Well, that is called the Pennymon Doctrine.
No, Dan, no.
Thank
I
you.
need to have a meeting with you so we can shut John's we'll have a meeting later.
Thanks for telling
So
me.
it could be like the Pennymon Molly Dan Doctrine.
Well, our names mixed are Penny Mac, so we'll have to
Richard Pennymack.
Rich Penny Mac.
Richard. Or it's just the Penny Doctrine with Molly and McIntyre. I don't know, I gotta come up with something different. I gotta come up with a whole